What makes you so unique? Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole.
Good evening. Happy Monday. I am Nicole Everett, the host of Conversations with Nicole, a talk show based here in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. It is Wednesday, August 26, 2020, and it's what I call What Women Want Wednesday. What Women Want Wednesday. So, this is an opportunity for me, you, and my guests to have a conversation. This is an interactive live, so I invite you, encourage you to comment, ask questions, and have a good time. This is a great time for us to engage with one another and share our thoughts and ideas about various sundry things. So, I have a very dynamic guest who I have known for quite some time. Our children actually went to elementary school together and middle school and high school. So almost 20 years. Miss Lauri Hunter. So I'm going to have her come on and introduce herself. But before we do that, in the standard way that I normally do, please let us know where you are tuning in from by putting your city and state in the comments. Please like, please share, give me some hearts. Let me know you like what you see. Let's hear from you. I drive off of y'all's energy. So I see you, Courtney Walker. Good evening. Thanks for being here. I see you, Shaq, my sister. Good evening. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Shaq is no stranger to conversations with Nicole, having been on twice. So thank you for the love. All right. So while the rest of you are telling us where you are chiming in from, please help me welcome Miss Lauri Hunter.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. So, Lori, how are you?
I am amazing. How are
Good.
you?
I'm doing well. So, again, we've been knowing each other for almost 20 years because our children, who are now grown,
Yes.
were in elementary school over at Hartsville Elementary, Miss Roy's class. Shout out to Miss Roy. And they've been friends ever since. So you and I have become even more acquainted in the past few years, and it's truly been a pleasure. So tell the peoples where you're from, what you do, and who is Lori Hunter.
Woo, my goodness. How much time do you have? No, I'm kidding.
We got an hour.
Lori Hunter, and I am originally from Connecticut, and I moved down here to Tallahassee, Florida, and have been here ever since. So I've been here for quite a long time, probably almost 30 years, maybe, or something like that.
Mhm.
So I've done a sundry of things, as you would say, a plethora of things. But
Mhm.
right now, what I do is I am a purpose coach, and it's something that I love to do. I realize that I that's where my passion is, and it just kind of comes natural to me. So I love my clients. I have a great time. It's what I do, and did it not knowingly for years, and now I do it as a profession. So um, that is what I do. That is where I am from. Did I miss anything? My company is called Egg Life Enterprises, and the
Egg,
reason
Egg Life, EGG Life Enterprises. Okay.
yes, which is I know it's odd,
Mhm.
but the EGG in egg stands for ease, grace, and gratitude. And
Okay.
basically, that's a mantra of mine. I feel like if you live in gratitude as much as you possibly can, that you'll find yourself with so much grace And as you're in grace, things feel a lot easier. So I feel like live your life in ease, grace, and gratitude. Your egg life is your best life.
Love it.
Yeah.
So when did you form your business?
Oh, I changed names. So I actually formed it several years ago. But as Egg Life Enterprises, it's probably been about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Egg Life Enterprises, and I just had to rebrand, and life kind of shifted a little bit. So that's what I really had to sit with myself and be quiet with myself and figure out, okay, where are you now? What is this now? And so that's what came up, and it resonates with me, and it's weird, and it's okay.
All right, very good. No, I think it's appropriate. So, what does a purpose coach do?
I had to figure out what it is that I do. Like people would all my life, people have been coming to me and talking to me. Sometimes people older than me, people in various professions have come to me and confided in me. And I just talk. I just do what I do. I listen and I talk. And when I boiled it down, I realized that when we have these conversations, it
Mm-hmm.
usually drives the person closer to walking in their purpose. If they already know their purpose, it drives them into walking into the purpose they already know they're in. Or if you don't know your purpose, I just have I don't know, a gifting of kind of pulling that and honing you in so that you realize what your purpose is. And then we keep on going.
Wow, wow. Sounds like that's even better than a life coach.
Yeah, I don't know about the whole life coach part, but I had to do, I don't even know if anyone else says they're a purpose coach. I don't know. I just had to really get clear on what my gifting is and how I serve people. And
Okay.
that, what I found is what I do.
I love it. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody call themselves a purpose coach either, but I like it. I like it. I like it. I think, which we will be talking about purpose tonight, but I think if you can tap into that and, that being the foundation of your movement along your journey, um, I think you're going to be better off. So, at any rate, that's cool. So, who would you say Lauri is? If you could describe Lauri in 3 words, what words would you use to describe
Energetic,
her? Mm-hmm.
inspirational,
Okay.
trustworthy.
Okay. Good words. Good words. Love it. Love it. I would concur. I would concur.
Oh,
All right, so let's dive in. Let's dive in. We're talking about purpose. We're talking about dreams, and we had a conversation prior to the broadcast about kind of what we would talk about. You talked about purpose, so let's start with that. Why is purpose important? Well, what is purpose, and why is it important?
purpose to me is your reason for being here.
Okay.
You're not here for nothing. No one is here for nothing. I feel like every single individual on this planet has a purpose. There is an intention for you to be here. I just think most people on the planet don't try to find it and they're not even conscious enough to look to see what their purpose is. But you will come across people that say, gosh, I feel like life should have more meaning. You know, why am I really here? To me, that's finding your purpose. Why are you here?
Okay.
How do you show up in the world?
So let me ask you this, because I've heard this from time to time in terms of purpose being a singular thing, or reason, or activity, or you know thing that you're doing versus purpose is daily. There are things that you do, on a daily basis that are on purpose. So is it one or the other, or is it both and?
I feel like it's both and. I
Okay.
feel like some people are very, have you ever heard people say, do one thing at a time? Like, say you're starting a business, just do one thing and then move on to the next. To
Mm-hmm.
me, that depends on how your mind works. How does your brain work? And that does not work for everyone. And especially women.
Mm-hmm.
Women don't do that singular one thing. I can't say as a whole that we don't do it well, but that's normally not the easiest thing for a female to do. It's just kind of not how we're wired.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, I feel like it's both and. I feel like you may find, like, I know that my calling is inspiration as a
Mm-hmm.
whole.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, there's different avenues. I have more than one company, and they do totally different things. I have a
Mm-hmm.
company called We Follow Up for You because I love to talk to people. I know how to talk to people. I know how to represent a client for their clientele.
Okay.
So we do follow up services for anybody, for entrepreneurs, for business owners. That's totally something different than being a purpose coach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you know what I mean? So I
Mm-hmm.
believe both.
So let me ask you this. Um, do you believe that purpose can change over time?
Um, I believe what it looks like can change over
Okay.
time. It may show up differently, but
Mm-hmm.
usually your purpose has something to do with a core belief that's in you. And
Okay.
it may have different faces, but if you can get down to that core, it's
Mm-hmm.
usually the same.
Okay.
Usually, I'm not saying it never can be, different, but most of the time, that
Mm-hmm.
core thing is the same, but it may have a different appearance.
Okay.
Does
Cool.
that make sense?
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. And so just a little example of what you're talking about. I've worked at a nonprofit for about 15 years and did counseling work there, housing counseling work. I shifted to a state job, and my thought was I will not be here very long because my thought was that I would be working as a consultant doing counseling services, similar to what I was doing at the nonprofit that I was at. However, along comes Conversations with Nicole, which uh, from the onset doesn't look like counseling, but in some regards it is. And in the conversations, not only with the guests, but also people who watch the show, there's a kind of a counseling piece that, goes along with it. So while it doesn't look like I had originally envisioned it would look, still the core belief or the core gifting, if you will, is still intact,
Right.
although showing up differently than maybe a traditional method or means, if that makes
Absolutely. Yes. I agree. And if you dig down a little deeper in counseling, what are you doing? You're having a what?
conversation.
Conversation.
Yeah.
So, it may be structured differently if you're sitting on someone's couch or it's actually a formal counseling session.
Hmm.
So the structure is different, but you're still basically having a conversation. And that's something that you're gifted in doing. You reach a lot of different people. Your demeanor lets people feel comfortable when they're speaking with you. You have a patience about you, a steadiness about you that lets people say, okay, well, I can get a word in. You understand what I mean? So all of that are the same um, attributes that you hope you find in a counselor.
Mhm.
Right? Something
Absolutely.
that makes you feel comfortable enough to open up and have a conversation.
Y'all, I think I just got purpose coach just now. Y'all saw that? Did y'all see that? Did y'all peep that?
It rolls out. I can't even stop it.
Can't even control it. Can't even control it. I appreciate it though. All right. I gotta acknowledge some folks that I see on here. Marcus, my LT 37 classmate. Thank you for being on here. Mr. Tyrone Brooks, CWN alum, also the artistic director over at the Tallahassee Ballet. Thank you for tuning in. And Javon from Atlanta, thank you so much. Appreciate you being on here. All right, Tyrone says sometimes life experience will and can guide you to your purpose.
I
Can
agree.
and will guide you to your purpose. All right, Abigail, your daughter, was just laughing at us. And Courtney says, Miss Lauri, stay ready. So Courtney is like a fan of yours, evidently, because she's been cheering you on since she got on here. So thank you, Courtney.
She's actually one of my clients. So
Okay. Good deal.
yeah.
Good deal. So, how does, and since, Tyrone spoke about how sometimes life experiences will and can guide your purpose, what role does dreams play in that?
I believe dreams are huge. Um, a lot of times when you're just dreaming, nothing's in your way, it's just flowing. When you look into that dream, most of the time, when you really allow yourself to dream with no bars held, in there somewhere, if you have someone to just kind of tunnel through a lot of that about your day,
Mm-hmm.
your purpose is in there.
Okay.
Most of the time, your purpose is in there. And a lot of times, if you can allow yourself to dream, it'll help you circle around to your purpose. And you almost won't even realize it's there. You'll be dreaming about something, and it's almost like it's woven into the dream. To find your purpose, I really believe that you have to dream at least a little bit.
Okay.
And in my opinion, we don't dream enough.
Now, why do you say that?
Uh, for a lot of reasons.
Okay. And when
Um,
you say we, who are you speaking of a particular demographic or population?
some more and some less, but I
Okay.
think a lot of times as a whole, um, especially this country, I think a lot of us don't dream as much as we should.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, demographically, definitely there's variations in how much we allow ourselves to dream, because in certain demographics, especially ours, we're busy living, surviving a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
um, doing what we think is the practical route to go to get to a decent level of survival.
Mm-hmm.
So many times that practical level has nothing to do with what, if you put yourself in a corner and just had time to dream, they don't even look the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of times our parents, due to society and how we are living in society, they were like, this is what you need to do. This is the path you should take. I want to make sure you have a roof over your head. food on your table and clothes on your back. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times there wasn't enough time to say, what do you really want to be when you grow up? Or and you could say what you want to be when you grow up if you want to. Yeah, that's not gonna work. You got to do
Right.
this. So
So, very much so concerned with surviving as opposed to thriving.
yes.
Yes. So I've heard that some of the folks with money, the millionaires, the billionaires, take time out to think, right? They
Yes.
take time out to think. So they put everything to the side, and they just sit and they think. And
I was
I would
talking.
imagine that's where the dreaming part comes in, because you are designating some time just to explore your thoughts about what it is you want to do, to imagine, what would it be like if I completed school or started a business or took a trip or started a family or whatever it is, whatever it is. Just take time, don't do anything else, but just sit and think, sit and dream, sit and imagine.
Yes. And it takes a minute to pause. And a lot of times our lives don't give you that moment or more than a moment to pause. I was on a group call in a program that I'm in, and the guy is a multi millionaire. And
Mm,
that is one of the things that he was talking about was um, dreaming and putting your vision out there and having it be something that you recognize, something that you know, something that you've written down, something that you can reference often is your vision. And so in order to have a vision, you have to do some dreaming, right? But if you don't ever slow down, this is the slowest I think the world has ever been that I know of in my lifetime, just
mm,
due to COVID-19, that
mm.
things have just come to almost a screeching halt for a short period of time.
Right.
For a lot of people, they have never been this still, ever.
Yeah. True. Very true.
They have never had this much time within their own space, in their own thoughts, a whole lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
People do it all the time. So it's okay to quiet your mind and to
Mm-hmm.
figure out what's happening in there. What is going
Mm-hmm.
on?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So Abigail said, I appreciate having a mother that allowed me to dream as I grew up. She also taught me to take dream naps. Now what is a dream nap?
When you get overwhelmed
Mm-hmm.
and you say if you have several things you want to accomplish and you
Mm-hmm.
just kind of don't know where to start, and so that brings about a feeling of overwhelm, and you're probably, even if you start picking at it, you're probably not going to do it very well. And
Okay.
I'm a person of excellence. I believe in whatever you do, we're doing it in a spirit of excellence, right?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So Abigail has a lot of interests. She always has. She's never been a one track singular
Mm-hmm.
person, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when you feel that overwhelmed, sometimes I would just go to sleep. Just sleep on it. Just take
Mm-hmm.
a 15-minute, 20-minute nap. And when
Okay.
you wake up, because usually if whatever that is on your head, it's gonna follow you into that sleep. If you relax enough and let yourself dream, when
Hmm.
you wake up, you'll probably more than likely be a lot more clear than you were when you went to sleep.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Dream naps. Okay. Cool. All right. So Tyrone said, exploring your thoughts can open doors to self-discovery.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Johnny Johnson said, COVID-19 is giving us time to dream.
Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Yeah.
So, with that, I think sometimes we may become impatient with our dreams or with the dreaming process, for a few reasons. I think one, because maybe we've not done it before. And so we grow kind of weary of doing it, right? Because it's like, oh, this is exhausting to, think about these things. I think another barrier, if you will, to dreaming is that we don't believe that oftentimes that those dreams can come true. So it's like, why am I spending time thinking about these things? This is not going to happen for me. And you're right. If you think that it's not going to happen for you, it's not going to happen for you.
Right.
So,
But I don't think there's anything, this is just my belief system.
mhm,
I I feel like our creator is an extremely intentional creator.
mhm,
If that came to your mind, it did not come to your mind for nothing. If you can think it, it can happen.
mhm,
Period. Period. We were
here,
created to create.
mhm,
That's what we're here for. We're here to create. We're sitting
mhm.
in something right now that was just a thought to somebody.
Yep.
Whatever chair you're sitting on, whatever it looks like, somebody it was a thought in someone's head. And
Mhm.
things have changed so much that it might have been a chair that no one had ever thought of before. Not another one looks like it. You get what I'm saying? But it
Mhm.
stopped. How did it start?
Yeah,
Anything, anything is possible. If you can think it, it can become a thing. Period.
absolutely. 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 So Sandra is on here giving you a shout out.
Hey,
Um, all right. And my buddy Nick Rains is on here as well. Hey, Nick. All right. So Abigail says, speak those things that are not as though they were. Yes.
yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. So, I want to encourage us to dream and to not be discouraged with the process and to also believe, have faith that those things can happen. Maybe you need to flush them out some more, and really determine if those are things that you really want. And it might not be material things, it could be relationships or, position or whatever. But, really kind of flush those things out and, determine if you want to put your intentions, put your wholehearted desires behind whatever that is.
Energy. Hmm.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think sometimes um, we don't realize that things, it's a process. And
Hmm.
that's where the discouragement comes in. I dream it in my head. Now, me, everybody has a different train of thought. I am a visionary. Like when I dream something, I dream it's totally complete.
Okay.
When I mean totally complete. I can't tell you how I got there, but I can tell you the end result every time. That is crystal clear for me.
Wow.
What I had to learn is that I I see the vision of it. So
Hmm.
that's why when someone talks to me, I can grasp what they're trying to tell me. And so what the person has to find out then is what steps can I take to get me closer to that end result. I had
Hmm.
to learn that for my vision, I'm not the person that gets those details all the time.
Hmm.
So I had to learn that I am always going to need someone in my life that is a very that's detailed in certain aspects, because that's going to just drive me crazy, right?
Hmm.
Some things I'm very, very detailed in, but I know me enough to know what I'm detailed in and what I need someone else to be detailed in, because I'm gonna nope, nope, nope,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, I get you.
So some people aren't the end result dreamer. They'll see
Mhm.
their dream will be they can see themselves all the way along the journey, like step by step, and those little that's kind of how their mind works. And sometimes for those people, you have to pull them to the end result because they'll get stuck in the details and
Mhm.
never really get themselves to that end result. And they'll stay in those details forever.
Yeah, yeah. In the
So there's
weeds.
a balance. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a balance for sure, for sure. So there's a gentleman on here, Mr. Michael Finkley, who I actually had the great pleasure of speaking to today. He actually started his own show, talk show in March. And his comment, especially in this time, I think was referring to, speaking those things that are not as though they were, because he is like rocking and rolling on this show. He's doing, yeah, he's doing episodes like 3 times a week and is meeting a lot of great people and doing great things. So proof positive that and does not have a broadcast or communications background, went to school for English and education is really his wheelhouse, but he's been fascinated with talk shows, so he just did it during COVID. So it can happen.
Congratulations.
All right. Tyrone said, in my profession, I've broken down barriers because of my purpose, determination, and vision. And I concur. You definitely have done that, Tyrone. And he said, yes, process. I'm also a visionary. Indeed. Indeed. But it's balanced too, right?
Yes. Yes. You just have to know. Sometimes you don't know. So sometimes that's why I am a firm believer in coaching. I believe that sometimes you need someone that sees outside of yourself because we get stuck. We get stuck in ourselves. With me, that's a visionary. My part would be the process part, the little managerial things. That would be the part that, yeah, no, right? So the other person would need the opposite. And sometimes you just need someone to um that can see the whole thing and can kind of say, okay, now let's go here. Now let's go
Mm-hmm.
there. So I've been very fortunate in those that I've, you know, been coached by, that it has really gotten me further towards this place that I am today. I don't know if I would know my purpose so acutely and so definitively had I not had that type of a guidance.
Well, clearly you have been passing it, paying it forward because, again, you have several fans out here that are singing your praises. So Nick's wife, Erica, says, Miss Lauri, hands down, best mentor coach ever. So very, very sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was
So
that was
Johnny has a question. He wants to know, when should someone seek your guidance?
um whenever they feel the pull to do so. I'm I'm very convinced that when you feel that it's that time, no one can tell you, well, no, wait till you da 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 da. Then nah. You have to go by, you've been living with you for however many years old you are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
when you feel that unction, and even if you let it sit for a while, like, maybe I need to talk to somebody, and you let it sit, and that comes back up, it comes back around, it's not leaving you because it's something that it's something that's rising up in you, that it's the time for you to act on something. So I say, when you feel it, figure out how to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Which actually I think is a good segue to mastermind groups and accountability partners, because we've talked about purpose, we've talked about dreams, but a lot of times we are not accountable to ourselves for our dreams. We talked about the difficulty maybe in sitting and dreaming and then having the belief. But maybe even once you get to that part, it's like, then what? Am I going to, do I have enough belief and confidence in myself and my dreams and my purpose to make it happen? And to the extent that you do not, then perhaps an accountability partner or a mastermind group is something that you should explore. So, can you give us some background insight on accountability partners and mastermind groups?
I am a firm believer in, I'll use them synonymously, so interchangeably, as for mastermind and accountability. So don't, get confused about, I'll just interchange them.
Mm-hmm.
I am a firm believer and have been part of a mastermind, a couple of different mastermind groups, probably for the past, officially, probably for the past, I don't know, 8, maybe 7 years or so.
Okay.
I just feel like it is a great way to progress, to get to where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, coupled with coaching, I feel like is like the perfect match, right?
Okay.
Um, so, okay, so with masterminding, surrounding yourself with positive influence, yes, absolutely. The thing that I love about masterminding, let me go back to something that you said, Nicole. You said if you if you don't believe in yourself or believe in your dream enough, then maybe you need an accountability partner. So I'm gonna twist that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know, it's like it has to be in you that this is your dream.
Mm-hmm.
No other human being on this planet should be able to tell you that you can't have your dream.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe that you have to listen. I don't care if it's never been done before. There's a lot of things that have never been done before. And then, oops, all of a sudden it's done, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was no Apple phone, nothing even like it. There was nothing even close to the technology.
Right.
And all of a sudden, like, don't let anybody else tell you that your dream cannot happen. They don't have that authority.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to take it in if you don't want to. So you may have an accountability partner that thinks, whoa, that's what your dream is.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably not the accountability partner for you, first of all.
Right.
So you might want to rethink that.
Right.
And then, no, if your accountability group, if your mastermind group isn't like-minded, if you're I am a huge dreamer. I have to be very specific, very careful with who I surround myself with, especially when it comes to my dreams, because I dream super big. And some people just think I'm crazy. That's okay. I just know I
Mm-hmm.
can't talk to you about that. I may tell
Yeah.
you about the weather and, hey, how you feeling and how are your children, but we're not going to talk about that because that's not what you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
so for mastermind, you usually get, I would say, between maybe 3 to the biggest I would go is like 8 people. I wouldn't go above that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some variety is always healthy in a mastermind group. And what it is that you know that they will hold you accountable, because you don't want to be the person that comes back to your group every week and says, "Yeah, I didn't get that done. Yep, nope, didn't get that done." And everybody else is making at least a step. You just
Right.
usually don't want to be that person. So it causes you, even if it's right before the meeting, you'll be like, let me wait, I gotta get this done because my mastermind is tomorrow and I am not going on week number 2 tell these people that I have not done what I said I'm going to do. You get what I mean? So it usually puts some urgency in
So
you.
let me ask you, does this kind of, for those of us who may be procrastinators, does this put the procrastinators in check?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So it puts
Yeah.
the procrastinators in check. I think, and you and I have talked about accountability partners and mastermind groups, especially from the standpoint of how, again, as I stated when I was leading up to this topic, sometimes we are not accountable to ourselves. We are more accountable to others than we are to ourselves, about our own goals, wishes, dreams, hopes, and aspirations. So, that's really kind of what the benefit is. I'm going to pop Abigail's comment up. She says, I have been in a few mastermind groups. When you find the right fit, it's so beneficial. That accountability is key.
Mhm.
Yes. And
Mhm.
she also said, yes, it helped my procrastination. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So Derek Standifer, who is a PhD candidate here at FAMU, he was the last guest that I had on that was talking about mastermind groups because he's been in one for quite some time. But one of the things that I hear him talk about consistently on his live broadcast is being committed to your commitments. Being committed to your commitments. And I think, that goes to one of the old school principles that I maintain and encourage our young people to do is make your word your bond, right? Make your word your bond. So if you give your word, you need to do whatever it is you said you were going to do. And I see that in the thought behind keeping your commitment to your commitment, right? And even if that commitment is to yourself, it probably, especially if that commitment is to yourself, that you need to keep
Right.
that commitment. So,
Ideally, you want to keep the commitment to yourself. However, so many of us don't value ourselves
mhm,
enough to keep the commitment to ourselves.
yeah,
And because words are so powerful,
mm,
once you put that out and see, because when you do it with yourself, you could just keep it in your head and it never goes anywhere else.
mhm,
So it's easy not to stay in accountability because no one knows I'm not being no one knows that I still haven't gotten to it in the
right,
past 5 years, right? And it's been on my
mhm,
to-do list every day for 5 years. No one
true,
knows that but me. So once you put that word out there in the atmosphere and it hits the ear gates of other people, it's a game changer for real.
mm,
And
okay,
one thing I do want to say is yes, it is imperative to stand by your word and to do what you say do. So because that's a factor of reliability as well, right? Like,
mhm,
can I rely on you? Is your word, do you do what you say you're going to do?
right,
But I just want to throw a little bit in here because we also have those people that may be out there saying, see, that's why I'm not going to be in any type of accountability group or mastermind, because then if I don't keep it, if I don't make it that week, and if I don't show, then it's just, nope, everyone's going to think that I'm just unreliable and I lie and I don't. No,
mhm,
that's not what this is for. This isn't here to pass judgment
right,
on anyone. There's no, it should be a no judgment zone.
mhm.
Period. Point blank. No matter how big your dream is, no matter how small, if your dream is just to clean out your closet, if that's your dream, And Nicole, I can't with you, okay? I can't. But if and let me
Girl.
tell you something. I have been in accountability groups where sometimes that thing that they're going to do that week is to clean off their desk. So someone could say, well, that's not a goal. That's not really a goal. That's not anything that someone should be held accountable for. However, think about it this way. If that person cleans off their desk in their office,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna free up their mind
Right.
to to think and to keep dreaming and to keep going in the things that they desire to go forward in. It can be
Mm-hmm.
that one thing because when you look at a bunch of clutter, sometimes your mind just can't even get past where you are. And some
Yep.
people they they can't even, well, I'm not going to go on this interview because I don't have anything to wear. And it's just because your closet, you need to clean, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So that's why I'm saying no judgment. Like
Yes.
if that's what you have to do, because if you're moving forward, if that is a piece to you moving forward, then that has to be part of your accountability group.
True.
Period.
True. So Abigail said having a weekly, daily ta-da list helps me stay focused. Checking something off of my list gives me joy. Yes, love it. I like that. Ta-da.
Ta-da! Yes, instead of to do. Because
Right.
to do sometimes feels taxing and
Mhm.
tiresome, and you're like, oh my God, what else do I have to do? So when you think of the end result, like if I check one thing off, ta-da! It's
Yeah.
because we have to learn to celebrate ourselves. A lot of times
Mhm.
we this holding accountable thing, or even just having an accountability partner, it'll also teach you how to celebrate the small steps that you make to move your life forward. So
Mhm.
I do that a lot when I'm coaching because I find that I don't know if it's just us, like Black women, a lot of times, or women, or, well, no, because it's women too, but just
Mhm.
as a society, it moves so quickly that a
Mhm.
lot of times that celebration is null and void. Like, oh, you accomplished that, yay, good. And you're on to the next thing. Your boss is on to the next thing. They're giving you the next assignment. You barely
Right.
got the tapping down off your head before, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So
Mhm.
a lot of times taking that time to celebrate when you have an accountability group, that also gives you a group of people that when you accomplish something, they can say, that's amazing. We're so happy for you. We're so proud of you. Like, we know that took a lot for you. And
Mhm.
cleaning out your closet may be a whole undertaking for some people. So you
Mhm.
can't minimize what's difficult for somebody or what's been sitting there looming in their life. But
Mhm.
that's what accountability does. It also helps you celebrate.
Yes. Tyrone said during this pandemic, I've learned to celebrate myself.
Yes.
And Andrea Jackson said, be careful of whom you choose to be your accountability partner. Be sure that they are not a dream killer.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
That is, and you might get some, but you just have to know to move on, because that's when I learned how important it is to have a like-minded mastermind group or
Mhm.
like-minded accountability group. So that's why I'm excited, because I am going to put some groupings together because I see how important this is and how much it's lacking in a
Mhm.
lot of wonderfully successful people or people that have wonderful ideas. It's just it's hard to do things by yourself, totally by yourself, or you have your best friend, but your best friend is happy. I'm not going to say just, but they're happy not maybe scaling their life up, for lack
Mhm.
of a better way to say it. And it doesn't
Right.
mean that they're not an amazing person, but you're sitting here, I love my best friend, but I want my life to scale up. And they're good where they are. And I love them where they are, but they can't even relate to me wanting to scale my business higher and go from, $10,000 a year to $100,000 a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
need to have somebody who's like-minded. That's
Yes.
super important.
Indeed. So Tyrone said, putting so many things in perspective.
Yeah.
Abigail, that's so awesome. Benita said, when I realize something on my list is too big for me, I choose something that I can do in order to achieve success until I can get help. I'm in the process of learning how to ask for needed help.
And that's the beautiful thing about a mastermind. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you're in a proper mastermind, each person says what it is they need from the group. And you may have a group of people where, I don't know, they may not be the source or the resource, I should say, that you need, but they may know somebody who knows somebody that's the resource once you put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Or they may say, I don't know anyone right now, but now that I know this is what you need, I'll keep it in the forefront of my mind and I'll hold that space for you. I'll hold that for you. I'll be or praying for you that
Mm-hmm.
you'll meet the right people, but you are in the forefront of your mastermind's mindset. So that's what, 5 to 8 or however many more people that know that this is a need that's
Yeah.
going out there into the world. And so how much easier would it be to ask for that help?
Mm-hmm.
You know you're in a safe
Absolutely.
place to ask for it.
Absolutely. So that's one of the great benefits of an accountability partner or a mastermind group. So, you know, you and I have talked about this for a little while now, and that's something that I have been wanting for quite some time. The issue that I have had is finding someone that wants to do the accountability work, because a lot of times folks don't want to appear to be confrontational or combative, or they don't want conflict. And, you know, it's not a matter in folks that I have approached about it. I've tried to explain it's not a matter of being confrontational or there being conflict, but it's a checking, a checks and balancing, a holding me accountable for what it is I'm saying that I want to do, that I'm planning to do. And it's okay, so they don't want to be the bad guy, if you will.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, I have good news for you.
Hmm.
I am, we've been talking about it for a while, and there were a couple of pieces that I had to kind of get in place. So if anyone is interested in being part of an accountability group mastermind, I
Hmm.
plan to launch a mastermind. Purposeful mastermind is what it's going to be called, because you're going to mastermind for a purpose. And
Okay.
purpose is my thing, guys. Purpose is my thing.
Yes.
So you'll hear a lot of it. But it'll be called Purposeful Mastermind. And my plan is to launch in November. So if you're interested,
Awesome.
you can email me at ouregglife@gmail.com.
Okay. Cool. 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 Awesome. Yay. That's great. We'll put, and I'm gonna type that in so and put that up on the screen. But Tyrone said, at the end of this life, you want to stand before God to say, "Thank you for my gifts. I've used what you gave me completely."
Yes, I
Hmm.
totally agree. I want
Yes.
that dance in the middle of the dates to be fully lived.
Hmm. Hmm. So Johnny asked, "How do you connect with one of these groups?" And you just gave that information. So give me the connection information one more time, and I'm gonna type it in.
Okay, our
Hmm.
egg life at gmail.com.
Okay, so they
And
can email.
just give me your name and say mastermind. Just
Okay.
because your email will be there, so I should be able to contact you back. So if you can give me your name, if you want to give me your number, that would be great, so that I can but we can connect. It doesn't matter if you don't want to give me your number right away, that's fine. But I just want to start matching and getting people ready.
Cool. All right, look, Abigail already has it up. Look at that. Look at that. Look at there.
She's
The best.
amazing.
She's the best. She's the best. All right, we got Pastor Judy Mandrill on here tonight. Thank you, Pastor Judy. Sister girl for being on. Appreciate you. So that's exciting. Purposeful Mastermind. So looking forward to that. In November, start laying out that groundwork and bring in 2021 with a bang. Yes, yes, yes. Love it. All right. So Courtney said, for someone who isn't around big dreamers a lot, it does feel weird. But knowing there are opportunities to be and grow around other big dreamers is a relief and restores hope.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
It takes courage to dream big. I mean, you're putting yourself out there. So it is a courageous thing. Walking in your purpose is not for shallow water. It's kind of going to the deep end of the pool. So, just to have that consciousness to know that you want to dream big and even be held accountable, right? And be able to move forward, that it takes courage. So celebrate yourself and I congratulate you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to say? I mean, you've already, just dropped the whole purposeful mastermind piece in November, which I'm super excited about and can't wait to be a part of. But anything else you want to say about mastermind or accountability partners?
I would just say I know how important it is. So confidentiality is huge for me. Huge, huge, huge. One of my top priorities. So I know how important it is to have a mastermind group, which I do have one. I've been in one for a while that you can share. My mastermind group has been with me through the death of my brother, through the death of my mom, me changing and shifting in my caregiving, you know what I mean? Like shifting my career. It's been a lot, and life will do that. So just know that I know how important that is. I know how sacred that is. So that's why it's taken me some time, because I want to make sure that it's extremely clear that when you are grouped with someone, that the confidentiality, I know that the only people I'm going to attract are people that will be uplifting to one another and hold that confidentiality within the mastermind group. So just be encouraged. There are people out there that are like-minded people that believe in you, that will help you. We have to know that they're there. And if you keep this in the forefront of your mind, you'll start attracting them to you. So just have faith and keep going.
All right. I love it. Have faith and keep going. Very good. All right. Any closing remarks about any of what we have discussed? Or we can leave it at that. Have faith and keep moving. Keep going. We can't leave it at that. How can folks connect with you? I mean, we gave the email address. Is that the best way for folks to reach out?
Yes, they can do that. You can also, I do Facebook Lives every Thursday, and right now they're on my private page, which is Lauri Morris Hunter on Facebook. But I am switching probably within a month
Okay.
to Ease, Grace, and Gratitude. So there's a page. So go like it, and you'll get notifications of that Facebook Live, because I'm shifting from my private page to the Ease, Grace, and Gratitude page. And
Okay.
yes, my email, I will get back to you. If you have any questions, you want to talk to me about purpose coaching, we can have a consultation, and I'll be glad to discuss with you and see if it's a good fit. And if it's not, there is no love lost, no harm. It's okay. If the timing isn't right for you, that is not an issue for me. So it's okay. We can talk about it and see what's good for you.
Love it, love it, love it. All right. So I got Facebook, Lauri Morris Hunter, or Ease, Grace, and Gratitude. Um, Dr. Judy said, have faith and keep moving. I love it. Yes, 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 yes. Well, thank you so much. And Erica said like-minded, like-minded. So that's on the top of our minds, I think, tonight as we begin to wrap up. Benita said, thanks for tonight's conversation. Our pleasure. It was a great pleasure to have you join me tonight. Thank you,
My
thank you, thank
pleasure and
you.
my purpose.
Listen, my pleasure and my purpose. Look at her. And Abigail, look, she right there, Johnny on the spot. I need me an Abigail. You know what I'm saying? Look at here.
She's good, right?
Oh, production assistant right here. Love it. Love it. We're gonna leave that right there for everybody to see it. So no, but thank you so much for being my
Very
guest.
well.
And so looking forward to the mastermind group and just the great and wonderful things that you have in store. So keep doing what you're doing and living on purpose.
Absolutely. My pleasure and my purpose. And have an amazing evening. Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. I appreciate
Indeed.
it.
Indeed. So before we go, I have to give a few quick shouts out. If you have not subscribed to the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel, by all means do so. But Gerald, my partner, and I just launched on Roku TV, Greater Works Network. Our network is up, it's live and running. We're actually live on Roku right now. So if you have Roku, you can connect to our channel, and we are live, broadcasting live right now on Roku TV. But we encourage folks to do so. We have a contest that we are conducting right now. Show us your greater work. So we're asking folks to produce a 60-second or less video pitching their idea for a show. So by all means, please do. And the hashtag is my greater work. That's what you want to put on it if you upload it to your YouTube or Vimeo or IG or Facebook. So we are taking those at entries until September 14th. And then we will also be selecting two participants to produce their greater works and put them on the network. So we are super excited about that and encourage folks to do that. So please help spread the word. There's information about that on my personal page, Nicole Everett, and Gerald Tooks as well. So a Greater Works Network, you'll be hearing more about it. We are really trying to help tell our stories because your story matters. Your story matters. So all right. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll catch y'all next week right here for Man Up Monday and What Women Want Wednesday, 10 p.m. Conversations with Nicole. We'll see y'all. Bye.